Hey guys, this is a quick video to show you how I obtained the Whirlwind Axe solo at level 30 on a hardcore warrior. I'll show you my methods for killing the Cresting, Thundering and Burning Exiles without the need for alchemy, but I won't go over the trolls, as they are easy to solo and Cyclonian has long been figured out. So first are the Cresting Exiles. Horde have a much easier job of these as they can pull them to Hammerfall, just by the Arathi Basin portal, where 5 gods will pile in. You only need to do 20% of damage to the mob and you can still obtain their loot. Alliance, however, have to head to this rock to permanently kite them, just southwest. So as with many kiting pools, we start off with a thrown weapon and simply refresh the leash every 10 seconds to bring the elemental over to the kiting area. Once you get to the rock, you'll want to carefully jump onto this corner here. This is the basis of where you can force the mob to go back around the rock. Simply come back down to path it back and forth, like so. It's important to note that these Cresting Exiles do have a Frost Nova, however they won't use it unless they melee you for a few hits in a row. So even if you do get hit now and then, it shouldn't really matter. However, if you do get into a sticky situation, just stop attacking and keep doing the rock jumps and it will reset in about 15 seconds. For the last 10 or 15% or so, you can kite it wherever you like, because at this point it's slow enough for it to never reach you. You'll need to repeat this between 20 and 30 times to obtain all 8 charms, depending on luck of course, so it is a bit of a grind. Next are the Thundering Exiles. This method doesn't require any primary professions, but does assume you have a good supply of bandages. We're going to be using this barn in the alliance-friendly farm over here to our advantage. This kiting method is far more technical than the other 2 elementals. Thundering Exiles have 2 core abilities. One is Lightning Bolt, which has approximately a 40-yard range, and the other is an Instant Shock, which appears to have a shorter range. We're going to take advantage of this. There is no way to fully avoid damage here while kiting, but you just have to make sure you refresh that leash, and if you get hit by a few lightning bolts, it doesn't matter, we can bandage later. Once you have brought the elemental towards the barn, and you've recently refreshed the leash, it's important to get out of line of sight as quickly as possible. We now kite this elemental clockwise around the barn, stopping at each corner to LOS the lightning bolt and then peeping to throw a thrown weapon at them. The most important thing here is to make sure you maintain at least 30-yard range away from the elemental at all times, so this is max ranging your thrown weapon. This will highly reduce the chance that they'll instant cast shock you. It's important to note that this small outhouse here does not block line of sight. Some shocks, however, are bound to happen at some point, so it's important you have a good supply of bandages for this fight. It's worth doing a few test runs of this, as it takes a little time to master. If you do run into any trouble, just bait their cast and then LOS them repeatedly without throwing at them and they will reset. There are 2 further points or strategies that will make your life a lot easier. If you do notice the elemental just stops and isn't casting, as long as you're at max range, just throw weapons multiple times at them. This is free time you can get damage in. Secondly, if you time walking back into the line of sight with exactly the moment they end their cast, they will start a new cast and still not hit you, giving you plenty of time to keep baiting their casts and throwing weapons at them. And finally, the Burning Exiles. There are quite a few spots you can use to permanently kite them, but the one I found most consistent is a fence on the far side of the Syndicate Farm, or Northfold Manor. The aim is to pull the Burning Exiles on a specific path to reach this point, without pulling a ton of Syndicate mobs. There are 4 Syndicate mobs you need to pull and kill ahead of time. This mercenary outside the outhouse, and 3 other Syndicate mobs near the windmill to the southwest. There are 2 highwaymen who stealth, and 1 mercenary here. The final highwayman is sitting on top of that hill. So as before, kite the Burning Exile on the path you've cleared using thrown weapons. Make sure not to venture too far away from the windmill. It's safe to walk underneath it and not pull any excess mobs. You can jump over this fence to maintain distance from the elemental, but it will become inevitable that you'll have to melee it for the last few leash refreshers. Here I'm hitting with my fishing rod. If you've got a high fishing level, your fishing rod becomes very accurate, much more accurate than your normal weapon. Once you reach the kite spot, wait for the elemental to get close to you, and then jump over the fence like this. This forces the elemental towards the outhouse, which is where you want it. At this point, you can kite the elemental indefinitely, by going left and right across the broken part of the fence. This is the simplest of the kiting methods, once you have the elemental in the right position. You'll notice, if you do get close to the exile as it passes towards you, it can hit you through the fence. Be careful with this. Do be careful not to pull the Syndicate Pathstalker that sits behind you. Make sure you stay close to the front side of the broken fence. I chose not to clear this mob, as I needed to limit my experience to ensure I got the Whirlwind Axe at level 30. However, if you want to be safe, you can clear this one too, though if you do operate the right strategy, it should never pull. When you do clear the Syndicate mobs, it's advised to not touch the loot on them, as it doubles their respawn time, giving you a larger window to complete your kill. This grind is long and arduous, and I had to start farming my elementals at level 29. But if you just want to do this casually, I'd recommend any level above 30. You can operate these strategies fairly safely.
Nay.
Unfortunately, near the end of killing Cyclonian, a few Horde decided to chime in and help, I suppose. It was pretty annoying, but I suppose they didn't want to wait around after 24 minutes of me kiting this guy. Anyway. The Cyclonian fight at this level is long but easy. I'll leave Tommy Salami's video guide on Cyclonian in the description.
I don't think so.
So yeah, this is how Engelbert achieved the Whirlwind Axe at level 30. Well, if I had more time, I would gladly have made a more detailed guide, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to DM me on Discord. But yeah, in any case, good luck on your Whirlwind grind.
Hello, man. Be seeing ya.